Are you ready to be misunderstood? That's what I'm calling this one. If you're new here, my name is Alex Johnson. Thank you for tuning in. This one's going to be a little shorter. This is just a message that's been on my heart. I just came back from a workout. My heart's probably still racing a little bit, so bear with me. I mean, no fancy editing, no fancy whatever here. I just wanted to turn the camera on and speak. This is just as much for me as it is for you, and hopefully you see yourself in the message that I'm going to say and you get value out of this, and I hope this helps you moving forward. And this is for anybody that has a big dream on their heart or a big goal that you want to accomplish, and maybe it seems impossible right now. Maybe it doesn't seem realistic for you, and maybe other people have kind of tainted that dream for you, and maybe other people have started to talk you out of it. If you have a big dream on your mind, you will be misunderstood by many people. Your friends, your family, colleagues, people you come in contact with, whatever it is, be ready to be misunderstood, because it's kind of like an elastic band analogy, which I've heard before. You tell people, hey, I want to go do this, and it's almost like you're taking off from them if they're not as committed or if they're not as disciplined or they don't have the same dreams for themselves, and they'll say, well, wait, but come back down. And they're like, no, that's not you. That's not your family. No one's done that before in your family. Come back down here, right? So I don't want to be too dramatic here, but every family deserves a winner, and that can be you. And maybe your family doesn't see that. Maybe your friends don't see that, because it might be uncomfortable for them to see someone that they know, someone that they might love, doing better than them or having goals that are bigger than what they've ever thought of themselves. I want you to remember this. Only people below you will be the ones that mock you, laugh at you, point at you and tell you how crazy you might seem. Because the people above you, or the people that are actually doing the things that maybe you want to do, they're not going to be the ones that look at you and laugh at what you're trying to do. It's only the people that get uncomfortable with seeing you try to do something that maybe they're too scared to do. I want you to remember that. And you know what? I understand where they're coming from, because it probably doesn't feel good if you're the kind of person that has limited yourself and if you have limiting beliefs for yourself. It doesn't feel good to see other people wanting more. And that's why they're going to poke at you. That's why they don't want you to, do too much better than they will. So you need to keep that in mind before you get down on yourselves and before you think to yourself, man, no one believes in me. Well, yeah, of course. Why would they believe in you? That's what I've had to remind myself. Why would somebody buy into your dream just as much as you when maybe you haven't done anything yet, right? Like for me, I've achieved, some level of worldly success as a 24-year-old, compared to, any other average person. But there's so much more that I want to do. And one of the things that I've learned is just, if you go over and you see your family or you see relatives, you see your friends, and if you talk about all the things you're going to do and they laugh at you and they say, yeah, keep dreaming, maybe that's a signal to just keep your mouth shut. Maybe instead of talking about it, you can just show them. You can just do it. What a concept, right? Maybe just do the thing that you're talking about, and then people won't even have something to mock you about, because a lot of times they're going to be right. People have told me, oh, big podcaster, huh? You're making YouTube videos. Oh, are you a YouTuber? And no one really watches my stuff yet. And people might be right until they're not. And until you achieve whatever it is that you want to do, people might be right about you. And you're the one that can prove them wrong. And whatever it is that's fueling you and motivating you to do it, hold on to that. Never become the victim. But you can have that underdog mentality. You can take that and achieve greatness. But maybe you just need to shut your mouth and just do it. Take whatever it is that's motivating you, whatever's driving you, and let that carry you forward. And before you, think, why me? Why do people make fun of me for this, wanting to do that? Think of this. Any billionaire that you can, name off the top of your head, go read an autobiography from them. Go listen to their come-up story. I'm sure they didn't come from too much. I'm sure they were an underdog, and I'm sure they had to fight their way to the top, right? It wasn't given to them. So before you want to have a pity party and say, yeah, people pick on me, just remember that. because a lot of the world's greatest achievers came from nothing. No one cared who they were. No one believed in them until they were valuable to the whole world, right? Before they had something to offer, no one cared who they were. And that's fine. You have to realize that, and that has to be your expectation. That's reality for you. But I do understand where you're coming from. If you do have people that aren't encouraging, they don't support you, and they might make fun of the things that you're trying to do, and understand where you're coming from, and it stings. But do not let those people fade the dream that you have. Don't let those people talk you out of it, because we just talked about the billionaires and these founders of the Fortune 500 companies, whatever it is. You know what the common trait is in these people is when people said no to them, when things didn't go their way, they didn't just quit then. They kept going. They didn't accept no as an answer, and they had this belief in themselves, this relentless belief, almost to the point of delusion, where they believe that they could achieve greatness. And I think after listening to many founders of some of the biggest companies in the world, that's a common trait that I see of all of these people, is the relentless belief in themselves that they can do it no matter what. No matter how many no's they receive, no matter how many people make fun of them or lawsuits or this and that, or losing everything. I encourage you to go look into these people if you don't believe me, and then relate that to where you are right now, because then that doesn't make it seem so bad, right? Like, I make videos on YouTube, and so when people comment something negative, or when people say something about whatever, my content that I post, that's not so bad. And if you want to achieve the things that you really talk about, you better be ready to face that opposition, right? And you better not let someone else talk down on you and let that get to you. You really have to put the blinders on. And I'm learning that. I don't want to talk down to you and act like I've been there, but this is just on my heart, because like I said, this is just as much for me as it is for you. And I promise you're going to have that belief in yourself. Don't let that die, and take what fuels you and keep going. You know, maybe this is the most cheesy video I've made so far, but like I said, I was in a workout, had this message on my heart, and wanted to get it out to you guys. So look, that's going to be that for today. If you feel like no one else believes in you, get in touch with me. I believe in you. No matter who you are, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who you are. You know, any of the greatest world leaders, I don't believe they were born smarter than you, a lot of them. They just had that relentless drive and the passion and the delusional belief in themselves. And maybe that's what you need. Maybe that's what I need a lot of times. Instead of letting people talk down on you, instead of getting down and thinking, oh, maybe I'm not meant for this because someone commented a mean thing on my Instagram. You know, that's ridiculous. Remember who you are. Remember that you are made for greatness. And if you don't come from money, if you don't come from a successful background, every family deserves a winner, and that can be you. So remember that and keep it up. And if you haven't already, subscribed to this channel. And my goal is to release more content. And I want you guys to learn from this. I want you guys to be motivated, be driven, and learn from interesting people that I bring on and some viewpoints that I share. So anyways, I appreciate you guys. I love you. Have a great night.